Okay, and we'll start the meeting. Maybe Jim will come in afterwards. Okay, this is the start of the Port of Allyn Public Water Meeting for the Advisory Committee, a special meeting of February 16th, 2026, 5 p.m. So call the order. So roll call, Jeff Carey.
Scott Gordon.
And Jim Freeman's not in. We hope he's en route, but not here yet. But we still have a quorum. Okay, public comment. I'll need your help a little bit to see.
Yeah, June Williams is the only member of the public. If June has any questions, feel free to raise your hand. And it looks like June will be listening. She has no
Okay. And
comment.
nobody in the
No,
audience, so,
nobody in the audience.
okay, we'll move ahead to item number 4. Discussion and recommendation on JDK builds extension revisions. Yeah, if you give us a little background again, Travis, and then we'll.
Sure, so JDK Builds has got a 4 duplex project going on between our border of Lakeland Village and the Allyn Plat, so. The plans that are on the table here are associated with that, and the most recent revisions by their engineer, NL Olson and Associates.
Olson?
Yep,
Yeah.
Olson's and Associates, so they made some revisions based on some things that we needed to see. And now we'd like to discuss those revisions with the water committee and see what we can come up with.
So basically, we've seen the plan once before.
Correct.
We gave some input on that. It went back to their engineer. Or engineers and developers. And then they came back with updates
Correct.
to what we, the different recommendations from our meeting when we last reviewed.
Spin this around. Yep. Wrong direction there. There we go.
They have cheat sheets so that in case to remind me of different things. Have you had a chance to look at it yet? Or?
It is the same one we looked at, right?
It is, but they made a bunch of revisions
They
that
made
we asked them to
revisions.
make. So,
And I'll let you first review, but I got a couple.
first thing I can notice is that, here where the other development comes in, this is the, Kitsap Housing Phase 2 that, they've finished the installation on. They are showing the sewer coming up first, stormwater coming up second, and water coming up third. In reality, the stormwater is more in the location of the sewer. And the
Actually,
sewer is in the location of the stormwater.
Actually, it lines up pretty close to this line here if you want.
Right,
across.
yeah, if you went
Where
straight
the
across,
parcels.
sure. So this is actually stormwater here. Sewer is approximately in here, but probably closer to here.
Give or take, it's close.
Yeah, and then the water is approximately where they say it is.
Yeah.
But it's got it kind of goes at an angle. It's not straight.
And the reason I say approximate after going up and looking at it, I'll have to scale it again, but this I think is less. This ended up being about 11 feet from the line to here.
Okay.
Or excuse me.
I thought it was 23 feet or something.
No, that was to the
To the sewer.
No, to the storm drain that's on the road. This one
Okay.
right here.
That's right. You had me step on that, and that was for the storm.
Right, it's 27 to that. So, excuse me, it's 16 to here. So this distance is off a little bit. This actual water line's a little further that way. And we'll just have to get it coordinated, but it's it.
This needs to swap, basically. That goes over there, the sewer needs to come over.
Yeah, sewer needs to come over right about here.
Not even that much, just a little bit.
And
Because I
then,
measured it, it's not that bad.
and this is literally, so you've got a stake here, you've got a stake here, and you've got a stake here. And we confirmed that with the builder at Housing Kitsap while we were up there. So there's something going on between.
There's a misalignment.
Yeah, there's a misalignment there.
Between this project and this project.
Right.
So that's one thing that's gonna have to get worked out. Because for openers, if their storm is over here and they have it here, that's not gonna work well. And the other part of the problem is we'd have to dig up the asphalt to get, if we're gonna do it here now. They have asphalt across here.
And are these meters already in? Are these water?
No,
source level in?
nothing's in. They're waiting for us to approve. To advise the board to approve.
Yeah,
This
Like
is,
that.
this is their latest update.
right, but I thought we were talking about having these meters. You know, in close to the property line, right in the.
We did.
So that's what I'll notice is that this needs to go over here, this needs to go over here, needs to go over here. Or I mean, one way or the
Okay,
other.
you're broaching a subject we'll broach here towards the end.
Because
Okay.
these aren't duplexes, are they?
Yeah, they're duplexes.
So they are duplexes.
Yep.
Oh, well, I guess that makes sense then. I didn't know they're
We'll-
duplexes.
I made 3 different cuts at this. One was dealing as they drew it and what, any problems with what they drew. Then the other was this, which we just talked about. And then the third is another matter, which we'll go into. There's quite a few things off, but let's not go there yet. Let's go to, so as the plan sits right now to do this as is, forgetting for a moment, we have a little stormwater problem here. The sewer's close, the water's close, but the storm drain is obviously not. Okay, so assuming that for a moment, I have 5 different things that I see as potential issues. And one of them might disappear, so I'll hold off on that. So here, where the sewer comes across the top, there's a 22 here, and then they put thrust blocks. And typically, you do not like to put thrust blocks on top of a sewer line, even a side sewer. You know, in other words, you have sewer material, thrust block, water. And what gets a little more tricky is there's this note here that if, well, in this case, it's a sewer.
Sewer crossing
Yeah.
water lines, I want us to talk about sleeve it.
Okay, but so if this happens here, I don't,
It needs to be sleeved.
but the problem is it's being the what, so depends what you sleeve. If you're sleeving the sewer, fine. I guess that's one way you could do it, avoid it, because you can't sleeve a 22.
They wouldn't be sleeving the water line, they'd be sleeving the sewer line most likely, but we need to confirm that that's the case. Sleeve sewer crossing water and minimum clearances cannot be maintained. Sheets.
So they just say sewer crossing. They don't say whether which one we're sewer or sleeving.
Well, it says sleeve sewer crossing.
Sleeve sewer crossing water if minimum clearances cannot be
Sleeve
maintained.
sewer crossing.
I don't know which way that is, you know.
Well, I'd call it sleeve. They're sleeving the sewer.
Yeah,
They're sleeving the sewer as it crosses the water.
But see, but we put the water in after the sewer. Typically.
yeah, so the sewer goes in and then they put the water in after the sewer. So.
It's kind of
I
a
guess,
catch.
yeah, I guess
So
so.
they know they're gonna know.
Yeah, I suppose they're gonna have to
Sleeve it
know.
here, sleeve it here, because they know the water's gonna come over on the top of it or.
I don't know what their distance is yet, because there's no profile the other way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me
Need
what
to
you-
know the depth on the sewer line there before we could say that that's
I mean,
an okay thing.
yeah, assuming we go with this plan, yeah. Tell me when you're done and I'll go to the next, what I highlighted. I can show, so let's see here where they have another 22. They're right on top of the storm drain. Again, not that we have to sleeve it, but I'm just saying
Now you're gonna have a thrust block right
Put it
there
on top.
on top of the disturbed ground because it's already been installed. So you'll be pouring a concrete thrust block on ground that's going to settle.
I'm just saying, normally when I did it, I tried to keep the corners away from being on top of other utilities, so to speak. Cause it's right on top, see this? Right there. Maybe it's a foot off.
Okay.
I mean, Jim has more experience with that, but as a rule, I always tried to keep thrust blocks on stable ground and away from, joints away from other utilities. And we can clarify that with Jim for your, I don't know, what your experience.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
a little more than me.
Okay. Oh. This vacuum blow off assembly. We have two of them, one at this end right now. I think it's current design, and then another one right here. This one's in the middle of the road. And I thought, okay, maybe they have this below grade, but then I looked at the profile that's in the plan of the example how to do, and you have a gooseneck come out above grade for that vacuum.
Isn't that the difference though that we're talking about for the air vac
Yeah,
compared to the blow off?
Well, it has a blow off and an air vac.
yeah, it's both.
Yeah, you have the blow off and the blow off was moved over here, but
Air vac
should,
there.
the air vac should have been moved over there too.
It's in the middle of the road.
Unless they've got some below grade air
This
vac.
one's in the middle of the road too.
Yeah, it's in
Yeah,
on the
which would
driveway.
make,
Yeah.
which would make no sense to have a air gap below ground.
No,
Yeah, I can't even fathom how that would actually
you
operate.
do not. Yeah.
That'd be a sanitary problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
eventually, yeah.
So where does lot 4 get water from?
It gets it from Lakeland up here in the back.
In there. So this line just ends over there just for.
No, that's a,
Well, that's not the water lines.
Yeah.
There. That's right. All right.
first of all, couple things.
But your water service is going here, right?
No, that's sewer, so the water's right there.
If you go past. Oh, I said that's what they did that. They went past that.
But what I would
Back.
recommend, assuming they follow this layout, is move this back. Because Jim was talking about having 10 or 15 feet beyond.
Well, that's what I was getting at. It's having that and then going past that with your blow off.
Right, so
they need to move that back.
Back
and then
15
have their
feet.
blow off
Yes.
back.
That's what I would recommend. That way, it's still in line, but it's out of the driveway. We were talking about, assuming they follow this plan,
Yeah,
to bring this. So Jim was saying we want, like 10 to 15 feet. You'd have to ask him what number exactly, but I think it was one of the two numbers after the meters. And so just shift this whole thing that way. So the blow off is just outside the driveway. But you can still have the meters here because they're still on this parcel.
right. Yeah, they're still on the parcel because the parcels.
Either that or you need to go up, bring that blow off all the way down and put it in between.
Yeah, you don't really like to have those no sewer, do you?
No,
I don't.
I'm just saying that's another option.
Yeah. Yeah, either go further or go less, but not where it is. But realistically, I mean, given the different distances, it's not that. I mean, you're running poly pipes from that point on, and so they can snake through there easily.
Hmm.
Then just let us know when you're done, and then have one last thing. I have this problem that, I get involved in other things. And then I look at other things, I'm like, huh. But you're gonna hear about in a minute here. I want Travis to be his notes. So when you're ready.
Yep, I'm ready. And then the same for, actually, this one here, it's.
I don't know what you do, but
Yeah, that,
it just gotta get out of the road. Put some deflection in the pipe and just run it straight from there. You know, actually you could run it. If they follow this plan, they could actually run it. Well, shoot, they make 11 degree. Yeah. So they could just have this and put 11 degrees instead of 22 and shoot right there. Assuming, following this plan. Then that way they could have the vacuum and blow off all out here and the meters there.
that straight line, you can just literally run it straight. Just like that, and then bam,
I was trying to,
angle, put the boxes here.
okay, I was just trying to keep away from
Yeah.
that sewer.
Of course, not inside the property line, but yeah, still, what's the scale on this? It's 1 inch
Well, then
equals.
you're in the middle of the driveway, though, that's the other thing.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's all driveway. That's all driveway.
Yeah, so you're gonna have to get it up all the way out there anyway.
Yeah.
But you see what I'm saying? If they follow this plan, an 11 degree one would do fine instead of a 22 here. That would get you out, straight out there and be able to put the whole assembly there, you know what I'm saying? If you do this plan, yeah,
You just went straight off of this.
and bend the pipe.
Yeah, then you get
You know,
closer to that catch basin.
In reality, my experience with C 900 4 inch, you can make that bend over that much distance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I suppose you probably could.
Yeah, I've done it. But you get the drift, what we're saying there. Either arc it or 11 degree it to there instead of 22 degrees there.
Ultimately, it's on them to figure out how to get the blow off out of there.
Yes,
So it's like, whatever they want to do, but to make me, up to them, the blow off has to be over here,
yeah.
past that service, somewhere over there,
Yeah.
so however they want to do it.
Yeah, we want to do
Do
it,
it.
be our guest, but get it out of the road.
There just seems to be a lot of additions here rather than a lot of additional things that aren't necessary to make all this work.
Well, yeah, we're gonna get to that in a second.
Okay, so I've got all the way through that point.
Okay, the last point on this, or at least unless you have something else. So I get to looking at this and I had this problem that, I look at my other utilities and it started down here. What I noticed is this section and this section are Brown County specs. In other words, this one's running at about 24% slope and this one's running at 26% slope. And the county typically likes to hit 12, 10, somewhere in that range. And Port Orchard is at 12. In their public works. So that got me thinking on this whole thing. And just a sec, I'll share this, the nitty gritty. So I got,
When you get down to this part here, this is fairly moderate grade.
yeah,
So you're gonna have a giant drop in the pipe that's gonna go all the way down to this point and where there's practically a 90-degree turn. And then it's not gonna have a gradient that's anything like this.
no, it'll be
Yeah.
fine. That'll be fine.
They'll still shoot around the corner, you're saying.
But the county doesn't want to, they don't like fast running sewer
Okay,
because it leaves crap high and dry
right,
and then it clogs in time.
okay.
Does that make sense?
It does.
No problem.
I'm sure it was there. Fine.
Well, we're in the first part of the discussion anyway, so. And actually, a couple of things we definitely like to run by you.
Yes.
Because,
So is this a new phase going in?
no, this is one we've already reviewed once.
Okay.
These are the changes. This is the
Okay.
JDK builds that's about right there between Allen View and the
Mhm.
Allen Plat. That's connecting to the Kitsap housing development that's already been installed. Now,
Sleeves and thrush.
Yeah, so first off, we can go to the sleeves over. So they've got our water line literally being crossed by a sewer line right over the top of a fitting.
Well, of a fitting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 'cause there's a 22-degree angle right here, and they literally have a sewer line going to one of the buildings. So the question is if you're putting thrust block there on our fitting on top of disturbed soil on top of the sewer, is that a bad?
Okay, so our water main, the sewer's underneath us or,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
sewer's underneath us. This has not gone in yet, sewer's
Nope.
not in yet.
No, nothing's in.
One or the other's gotta get resituated. So either sewer goes another 5 feet, 10 feet,
What?
and then crosses up. Or
Or water,
we go 5, 10 feet one way or the other and get the fitting away from
The easiest thing is move the
the
water.
sewer
Yeah.
line.
And
Yeah, just
Look-
extend the water line,
look-
it solves the problem.
let me give Jim a little background here. We're coming at this at two levels. One is, this is an update, so we're looking at the plan they're presenting and making notes or additions or corrections or identifying problems with it. But then I have a separate little thing because I have this problem that I have to always look, beyond my nose.
Right.
And I noticed that the sewer line is going down too fast. The slope and it's too fast for county specs.
And the
And
engineers didn't catch that?
no, and I've looked at like
Okay.
Port Orchards, it's like 10 or 12%. This is at 24 and 26.
Oh, boy, okay. Okay.
We're in the difference between like a slip and slide and wild waves going down the cannon tube
All
here.
right.
Okay, and so, but I decided let's talk about first the plan and then, okay, get that, so to speak, nailed down. And then, the port's not responsible for sewer, obviously, we don't have, but then I started looking at this and I just like blew this thing apart. Totally redesigned it.
So, my suggestion is move, or we certainly don't want a fitting close to that sewer
Yeah, I
line,
agree.
because we might have to get in there and do repairs later.
Sure.
So let's get that moved, but this is a prime example of why we take the prints to another engineer for a review. So he can look at all that type of stuff, but what's the next question?
Um, in the streets.
We already moved the.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, we moved some stuff.
so in the streets, we talked about having air vacs installed, right? At the
Yeah.
end of the lines. Well, they literally just drew them in the street.
Huh.
And I didn't understand how an air vac could be accomplished underground. I don't think it can.
No,
So
no.
that was definitely something we wanted to
And this-
double clarify with you because it just didn't make any sense. to
This-
us.
So,
This one was in the middle of the driveway and that one was in the middle of the road.
so obviously the water main will be in the shoulder, in this case, probably the middle of the road or something. And then you'll tap the air back straight off the top of the main, so you'll come
Yeah.
up about that far. And then you go over to your
Right.
shoulder, kind of maintain, lots of times they do it in poly, kind of maintaining a little uphill grade a little bit. And then you set your box and your air back on the shoulder of the road in a, like, even a traffic.
So you're saying they could do it this way where well, of course, you got a blow off in the middle.
That it'll be tapped there.
It would be tapped there, but it would still have a line that goes over to here, out into the
Mhm.
shoulder, and then this is where it peaks out of the ground.
In
Yeah.
the shoulder, yes.
Yeah. So it's just it's not clearly telling you that. According to these drawings, you would assume that the air vac is finished right there in the road.
Right.
And I'd say this kind of heavy off the shoulder because
Yeah.
you're gonna have a standpipe a couple feet out of the ground.
Right, you don't really want it if there's a sidewalk, you don't want it in the middle of the sidewalk.
Yes, yeah.
And literally, that's why you would put it
Yeah,
in
Sure.
parallel here with the other, with the blow off assembly.
so in this one here, we're just saying, if this is the middle of the driveway and it's like 15 or 20 feet wide, push it back to about there and push these meters back to there.
Go past that, we blow off.
Yeah, so that's the blow off on
Yeah,
that
the blow off
end.
is right here, that comes the air
Yeah.
back and then comes back here to the blow off. So we're saying you should move that down here, go past there and then put your blow off.
Okay, so let me ask you
Meters
this,
back.
I'm trying to catch, I've had a bad headache all day. It's
Oh,
a little
goodness.
rough, But, we got 2 airbags on this line.
At this moment,
At this moment,
Okay.
correct.
you're gonna hear change here shortly, but
And it's okay because a lot of the development that's gone on doesn't have any airbags, so we certainly are lacking on airbags, but normally speaking, if this is the high side of the line, which I think it is that right?
I'd have to go look at the survey.
But wherever the high side was, you would just put one air back there, a 2 inch air back.
You know, I think this end's a little higher, but I don't
I
know.
think what we had described before is that this was the high side
Okay,
and this was the end of a line on a dead end. Never to be serviced to add additional lines to it. And that was the reason why we requested air vacs on both ends.
Well, this is a dead end line though too, isn't it?
Yes, that is a
So
dead end
both-
line, but
both-
this one's higher in elevation
Right.
than this one.
so yeah, it's fine, and the entire system up there lacking air bags, so it ain't gonna hurt anything. But on a line that long, we could probably get down to one air vac if you wanted to wherever the highest point of that section is.
Okay, I mean, I'm sure the builder would appreciate that.
I mean, we
Um,
certainly could.
Cause, you know, every time we add something, it's definitely increasing the costs.
Yeah, so it's a 2 inch air back and, you know, maybe.
Whichever is the highest.
Did you have a question on the blow off?
No,
Oh, on
no,
blow off, okay.
no,
Alright.
no, other than saying, you know, the blue, because I remember in the, you know, how we had construction specs, the
Mhm.
blow off can go in the middle of the road because you have that grate, or you know, the plate and the whole apparatus.
Yeah.
It's not your favorite place.
No, but you can, yeah, you can. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm late. I'm never a late guy.
It's okay, no problem.
Do we have somebody on Zoom?
June is.
Okay.
Tell me when you're ready.
I got a call. Your guys today.
I've been working, I've been busy
I
today.
had a feeling.
Okay, tell me when you're ready to.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, so then, it's, okay, because I saw this problem with the sewer, and I'm saying, well, shoot, if you don't get the sewer nailed down first before we try to put the water in, things can get kind of messy. So, you know, I'm thinking, okay, just send it back, get the sewer fixed. And I started looking at it as it from a developer's point of view, and then as a port's point of view, and then as a county's point of view. And this was not their best work. Okay, for example, okay, they're gonna have to do something different here with these manholes. There's a type where you come in at your maximum slope, and then they're called drop manholes, and then they basically take it down, and so they kind of stair stepping it. So they're gonna have to work that out. But when I started looking at this and saying, okay, if this is permissible and this is permissible and how they're tying into the houses and what have you, I started to go through this whole damn thing and saying, oh crap, we should just, you know, gut this thing. These two water things probably should be over here. This sewer should be over here. This line should be straight and comes over here. Then it gets rid of one manhole here. And the question that I have is, okay, we're only really looking at this from a water standpoint. That's what we're about.
Correct.
That's what I look at. I look at, that's up to whoever the developer is to hire these guys to design it for specs. I mean, I don't
Right,
think
and then it's up for the port to do reviews and suggestions, if we want another fire hydrant or whatever the
Yeah.
answer is. Then it's the port's obligation to send it to another engineer for review to where he actually is like, wait a minute, that's too deep, or there's sewer problems or whatever.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to move them over here, is this our line? No, that's storm sewer. So where is our?
No,
Stormwater,
sewer-
sewer.
This is us. This is
The-
way
oh,
over there.
Yeah, we're right here.
So,
And you're wanting to move our lines over here,
So,
yeah, is
yeah,
what you're thinking?
I mean, smaller scale, I'm sorry, but you know, I don't have them. So I'm saying, take the water line and run it straight to a point,
Okay,
run it straight to another point. Like, then this, put the two water meters for this lot ones, those two
Okay.
lots there over here. Put a sewer trunk like they did over here, right here. See how they did one line and then two off of it here? Do the same thing over here. And then that moves this sewer manhole. It gets rid of this one, gets this arc out of it, puts it here. And we eliminate one manhole and it cleans the whole thing up.
I got no problem tapping our stuff off of this line over here.
Yeah.
So you're saying basically eliminate.
Well, yeah, cause
Yeah.
it would eliminate all of this.
Yes.
You wouldn't have to have any of this, you wouldn't have to have the airbag, you wouldn't have to have the blow off. You just literally bring it over from here
I got you.
and then, yeah, and adjust your
And
sewer
if
lines.
we're thinking down the road. There's always possibilities. I say no to nothing.
Yeah.
And this line could get us closer to another bordering water district that may come into play in the future.
Yeah, that's,
So-
you know, it's a call.
And I look at it from a developer standpoint, I guess, all we're here is looking at the water and the layout and how it for the port.
Right,
Yeah.
Basically, it's not, I mean, they paid an engineer to design it.
I know.
I mean, it's basically not, I mean, I guess we're not an engineer.
No.
So you might design it as an engineer, different than another engineer. So to me, it's like they're presenting this. As long as it works, yeah, it might cost the person more money, but that's not our
But that-
job.
yeah.
That's the engineer's job and
They're hired
the
engineer,
developer to
That's
review.
what, and no
to prove
problem.
that.
I
So
just
it's-
I wanted to run that by you
But
guys.
I'm with that one off here if we want to abandon that, but I'm saying this line could be very important
Well,
in 20.
or do a little stub, like, okay, back to
Okay.
like this, just come to this point here and put a
T,
T or something here.
put a T in with a plug and then they can hook onto it.
Yeah, yeah.
But again, my perspective
No,
is.
no, I get
They
it.
gave you a
I get
design,
it,
so,
I get it.
so why, this works, so why are we changing what they designed?
I'm trying to make it some, but that's fine. I'm gonna argue, I'm not.
I agree with you too, but I'm just saying, they paid someone to do it.
Yeah.
We're just there to make sure it works and it's per the port specs.
It's per the port space. Once you address those.
So I'm 50-50. You want to have
Yeah,
right here, that's fine, and I'd put it certainly a T or something over here with a
Yeah.
plug. And be fine. Are you sure that in the future we don't have anything else lot wise or anything else
This,
coming up
this
this
is
way?
all Lakeland.
That's all.
So, yeah, it's all Lakeland.
So that's a dead end.
Yeah, that's a dead end.
Okay, the only thing I could say is this could come into play in the future.
And I don't disagree and for the plug, but,
Okay.
you know, as it's drawn, it will work. Once these other corrections are in.
Yeah, that's my perspective. They paid someone to design it. It's designed, and as long as it meets the specs.
I have this problem because I'm maintenance wired.
Well, I get it.
I had an issue this last week at my place. And we had been charging, I think, a minimum of $900 for plan reviews. It's 3 hours minimum,
yeah.
$300 an hour.
Yeah.
And back in the day, you know, I think $1,000 would cover a decent set of plan reviews. It takes about, we get them back within 2 days.
Right.
I want to make sure we're clear that is not the case anymore because I was shocked by the bill and then I called him and questioned the bill and he confirmed the bill and then I called 3 other engineers and they all said, yeah, that's all right. And it is $2,400 now to do a pretty easy plan review that is actually billed to the developer. The developer pays that cost to the port. But it is not the $900 anymore like I thought.
So that goes back to the same thing. So if another engineer is gonna review it, what happens when you get the spec like you just did? Well, this isn't right. You should do it this way and design and move it. And this is the way.
Yeah.
And
And then it just becomes a head match between two.
yeah, and so to me,
And see, I feel bad for the developer because I know he's gonna spend more money than he has to. And I also know he's gonna have a problem here with no matter how they do it, even if they leave everything as it is, the sewer isn't drawn right.
Right, so that's where the second, so normal process is they have an engineer, of course, they wanna do it as cheap
I
as
know.
possible. So then it goes to a district. And the district's like, oh, I think we're short on a fire hydrant, or it needs a blow off, we need an airbag, or hey, we need bigger pipe. That's happened twice to me. We need bigger line, bigger trunk. So then we're like, okay, then the district sends it to a separate engineer.
Right.
And he comes back and says, hey, he's caught water quality issues because of dead end stuff. He's caught undersized piping. He's caught some stuff. And that's where he gets paid his couple grand. Then you come back and say, okay, Mr. Developer, this is what the district is requiring if you want to continue with your project, whether you have feelings that he's
Yeah.
gonna lose $10,000 or $5,000 or $1, right?
Yeah,
But
doesn't-
this is what the district
Yeah.
needs, because this is, you know, a 100-year plan for the port, this is what we
Right.
gotta have.
And see that, and so that's what's keeping in the back of my mind. Because I've served on the Plan Advisory Committee for the county,
Mhm.
and they have what they call a terrible I problem on this hill here, which is water getting into the manholes, getting into the sewer, reducing the capacity and
Mhm.
diluting the sewer when it rains.
Yeah, and a good engineer would catch this, like, hey, you got sewer crossing exactly here, that's where you send it off for that
Yeah.
guy. And that the developer would pay for it, for the port,
Yeah.
would be no expense. To protect the port, that's what happens, but if you wanna cut that line off it. Fine.
Were you having this reviewed?
No, we are the reviewers.
Okay, so. That's it. We're reviewing it. Me,
I mean, we could say, we could decide that we do want an engineer to review it, and then we would let let them know that it would be part of their reimbursement costs.
right, and I'm just looking at the fact they submitted it, an engineer designed it, we're looking at it. Yeah, there might be we might have better ideas how it worked, but they
Right.
paid this guy to design it the best way
We-
possible,
yeah.
and they've done that. So I think
The-
every time we make a change,
No, I agree.
they gotta pay.
The biggest thing is that making sure this all lines up.
Correct.
Yeah,
That is,
that
our
is-
change has to be under the blow offs, the changes.
Because
This-
the way this is right now,
Right.
this whole damn thing is going over here.
Right, needs to move.
Right.
And it hasn't been worked out.
But right now for them, they just need to fix the blow offs on each end and the air vac.
Yep,
Yeah,
and then,
move them.
and move
And
this
move this-
line
move this-
off of the fitting.
Move this line off the fitting
And
for
get,
the
and
thrust
get,
block.
and get these
and
right
then
here taken
swap
care
these
of.
over, move that
And
over.
that's technically
that-
all the board needs.
That's
technically all the board
that
needs.
approves this plan.
Right. But the builder could also watch our conversation and make their own determination.
Yes.
Which I will make sure the builder has an option to.
Okay.
Because that's really what, a big part of what this committee is really a gem for, is for those builders to be able to see what we think and be able to work with those ideas to maybe make things better for themselves as well.
But I assume
So-
they're looking at these plans too, and
Right.
from their experience,
Hopefully, yeah,
knowledge.
yeah,
they would pick some of this stuff
They
up too,
do.
to change it to be less cost, but
right.
that's my thought, but
Yeah.
maybe not.
You never know.
All right.
All right, what's the
I
next
think,
one?
I think we're done with JDK bill. That's
Okay.
all the notes necessary to talk to the contractor and move it on.
Okay. Hold on one second. Let me- just as a side note, the drawing, in the general water note, you know, the 1 through 15, you have these general water notes. And it talks about spacing, yet in the spacing in our diagram, it's not the same as our water notes.
Can you see another diagram?
The one diagram that's after the blow off valve, the one that's the depths. Hold on one second. Number 8. Where it says the water main above or below existing utilities as required to maintain 3 feet minimum coverage. And 12-inch minimum clearance. This drawing doesn't show the 3 feet, it shows the 24 inches, 2 feet. Or yeah, 12, 6 and 6, yeah.
On the actual drawing?
That was on that, whatever page it's on where the water notes are,
Yeah.
the second one over doesn't match up the notes.
Okay, can you circle both of those? And let me see that page.
Don't worry about the other red notes. It's number 8 and
Yeah, number 8, I see it.
oh, yeah. Are we gonna, along this lines, this is on the sleeving issue? Are we actually gonna sleeve like this where they actually put sand inside the sleeve?
That's what our specs call for. Is that what our specs calling for?
Yeah. Is that what you guys do?
No,
I do.
no, it's not
It's got
necessary.
sand inside the sleeve.
Okay, well, we can make a change to that.
Yeah, I was looking at that and said, God, that's gonna make it really rough. And that's,
How do you do that?
They,
Low sanding.
yeah, and then they have a motor at the top, yeah. Yeah,
Few times.
but I crossed out the one that doesn't contain, just the other one. Okay, now I'm clear. Hold on, I'll get to the next one.
You don't do it, there's no TV, there's no.
No, it's going on that. It's just, you couldn't get the TV there.
Okay, next is item 5, the red door construction easement documents. Personally, I don't have any problem. It took me a second to realize how they were doing the, calling out that extra area. But once they got the lay of the land, it was fine. I don't know what. They added to their easement, this area here. In other words, because in the plat, it calls out this easement, so they don't need to record another easement. But here, because of the way where the port's water line is here, and if they come in this way,
Okay,
they had to,
that was the issue.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And this was the most cost-effective way for them to install those two services.
so I'll entertain a motion unless somebody else has a comment or two about it to approve it as submitted.
Yeah, I recommend you do,
I'm okay with
yeah.
Do you're,
If somebody's got to make it, somebody does second, and I'll ask for, call for the question.
So you guys have reviewed this border change and you're saying easement change? For the property itself, is that what that
for
is?
this corner.
Yeah.
Water, the water station. Your red door,
Yeah. it's
Last
this one right
page.
here.
that's
The
the,
last page of the map. And it's, I wouldn't print it in color, but it's this area here and then this area right here.
And the area in Brady Loop is already called out in the plat easement, so it's not an issue of recalling it out. It's the one down there by the corner of the intersection of Wheelwright and Drum.
I make a motion to approve. Second that.
Yeah, that's it.
It's been moved and seconded to approve Red Door's construction easement documents. All those in favor?
Aye.
for
Aye.
recommendations to the commission.
Yeah.
Approve recommendation, yes, excellent.
Okay.
Recommendations for the,
We're approving at our level.
Right.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Yes, yes, okay. All right. Okay, sorry about that.
All right,
Number 6.
harbor improvements, water system recommendations.
You guys worked today, Ben?
I did some, we actually did, went up on the water system and did some things, so.
Did some audits, checks.
Yeah, so,
What's that?
you know, she printed that profit sheet off.
I don't think we got it.
Oh, she did, it's this one right here.
Oh, yeah.
So this is the section that I'm working on right now for the scheme of, comprehensive scheme of harbor improvements, the water system portion. Where we call out the water system and we talk about it and we also, detail its size and its history. And also put in the, utilities and supporting systems that are around it. And we outline it as, you know, we give the public knowledge of what the facility contains. You know, and the components in our inventory. And this is something I still have to work through. This is the initial write-up that was basically pulled from the internet. Okay, I still have to compare it to actual real, you know, documents here.
You could use that Excel sheet we created for the end of life. And that would give you footages.
Right, okay, that's a good, thank you, that's a good reminder.
It'll tell you these, how many feet of 4, how many feet of 6, I mean, 8. And, you know, how many valves and fire hydrants and things of that nature.
Because the previous schemes of, basically, this is basically the ports master plan.
So some background, I'll give some background to it too. the reason the port has to have this in is that should they go after grants or loans or things like this, that helps to have, or that becomes a necessity to have it, is, you know, in your comprehensive plan. If you're going after a grant and it's not in your comprehensive plan, they kind of frown on that.
Yeah, you pretty much don't, you could be asked to return the money.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and so, okay, so you
You're
got
still
that.
working on it, so it's just very.
Yeah, no, this is just a very preliminary draft. I just wanted some feedback on the design. This isn't how it was done in the last scheme of comprehensive improvements or harbor improvements. But this is the format I will use going forward, and, you know, I'm still working this gig in 4 years and this thing has to be redone. Then, you know, it will follow this format with the upgraded changes applied to it. Because the water system is just going to change through growth.
Right,
And typically, the best practice is to reapprove this every year with your budget.
right.
We would have done it this year, but there wasn't enough time to do all of that. So,
On the challenges and constraints. And I don't know if that's the right title, but it would seem like the area where, you know, at one point there was a discussion that the port would be looking at acquiring or, you know, integrating, merging with other water service providers,
okay,
you know, such as Washington Water or the other little small ones that are around here. And I don't,
Isn't Lakeland the only one that's close?
no, we got
Yeah.
Washington Water.
Yeah, a small section
like
from
a
it.
67 connection system approximately.
Where's that at?
It's over where the shopping center is,
Oh, that
and then the
junction.
RV park. And
Park,
then,
okay.
yeah,
That.
and then they have a few down along Highway 3. A little bit. And then they have like Good Bob's Burgers and stuff on, just right on the other side of the highway.
And they own the system?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it used to be, I don't know how they got that going, but yeah, they own the system. It's funny, they don't own the land, but they own the system.
Well, one of their main wells is literally in the shopping mall.
It's in the mall.
There's a little building right in front of the hair salon and where you walk into the.
That's their well.
Yeah,
I was
that
wondering
little,
about
that little metal roofed
Yeah.
box.
That's the
Yeah.
well.
I used to eat my cheese and crackers from, you know, right on the bike from my house on that thing. I
That
never
was,
knew it was a well until much later in my life.
it was very frustrating because, you know, when I put in a new well, you know, they want the 100 feet.
Right.
And I'm looking at this and said, there isn't even you have to go 100 feet before you get to dirt.
I thought that was just a big backflow preventer or something for the shopping mall, but okay. Wow.
No,
Well,
that's a well. Anyway, so that's one thing. I don't know, and I've not done this plan, and I don't know if Bill for Water has any, if they've done that thing. So like, you know, when you have, you know, when the port created this, got this plan created for water rights. And there's a mitigation plan and all this kind of stuff. Did ecology ever say that has to be updated ever?
does not all that go into your comprehensive plan, which is every 10-year rotation?
I think for a water system, if you're just purely a water district, your water system.
Yeah,
plan
but
really
so
is-
so much of the water mitigation, you know, the water rights mitigation was not in conjunction with the plan. I mean, it matched up, but it wasn't, the plan was done at one point and the mitigation was done at another.
Yeah, the comprehensive plan's a massive undertaking. It's and I think several years ago cost $130,000. And yeah, it encompasses all that. It
Okay.
takes in all the water
Okay.
rights, all the wells, this, it also takes in future stuff. It also takes in exactly how we do the developments and all that. Yeah,
Okay, well then, where I'm going with this, with regards to the comp plan is something needs to be in the comp plan about, you know, plan updates. Some nice way of wording it. I don't have the phrase or words or what have you, but Because you're going to have to update the plan, whether it's next year, 3 years,
But
but,
you try not to, so you got the comprehensive plan,
right,
they have amendments.
yes,
But then engineers get involved and they've gotta file all this with the state of Washington on each amendment.
yes,
Try to avoid that, you try to make the comprehensive plan like I'm kind of real and I don't really wanna fool with it
Yes.
until a 10-year window.
right,
You don't wanna go back for an amendment, to try to keep the comprehensive plan current. You just
we did,
ride.
when they bought my system, they basically did an amendment, that's basically what you did.
Yeah, and there's times you have to do
Yeah.
that, but for the most part, all the stuff that happens in the office, you don't have to just go every time.
See, my experience has been amendments are more fun to do, quicker to do than trying to do a whole comp plan.
But you're required to do the comp plan period,
Yeah,
bar
no matter
none,
what.
no matter
Yeah.
what, at 10-year
Yeah.
mark, so.
I'll get us to next subject here in a second.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts from anybody here about other things to include in the court's general comprehensive plan, not the water plan, but
I say this about every meeting, but I would like to see the developer extension agreement and the specifications, all that may be reworked on some level, and I know it's gonna take time and this and that, but I would like to see that.
yeah,
And once we get that implemented and in place, then that's how we follow it, period, bar none. And you have one now, I get it, but I think there certainly can.
no, I get it.
Some growth there, but it's always time and money, so.
Right, no, but I see Travis writing, so I'm assuming that's something that phraseology is. I mean,
Yeah, well, I need to put the written in the specs.
no, you do, but I'm saying as far as your general, in other words, you need notes so you can kind of sit down and say, okay, how do I construct this? And then, because you still have to run this by the board, you still have to
Yeah,
have public
no.
meetings.
I think for that to actually get implemented, I think it's 4 or 5 meetings for us.
Yeah,
Just for reviewing and.
Right.
I think it's 4 or 5 just for us alone.
yeah,
But, yeah.
yeah, okay. Anything else anybody is thinking? But okay. Go to number 8, future water.
Validation, structural update.
Thank you.
Number 7.
Drop. Okay, that's an item for Travis to give us an update on. Number 7, consolidated construction update.
Sure, so been in contact with the awarded contractor, they have ordered the very expensive parts that were non-returnable after Mike Michaels with West Sound Engineers approved those 2 items as being what he was looking for. You're talking about this 4-inch combination valve, which sounded like it had about a $30,000 price tag.
And what was this for again? Did I-
This is for the call consolidation.
Remember where the 2 systems are being tied together?
Yeah,
Yep.
and there was some fitting or
You're right,
mechanical device.
Well,
Yeah,
they sent out.
it's a
bids.
pressure reducing slash like metering valve essentially.
Okay,
To put water into the system
sure,
at the right
at the right pressure. So we decided we didn't, or?
No, we did.
Yeah.
They just needed to confirm that this is exactly the model and everything
Oh,
else because it
okay.
wasn't called out in the bid spec.
Yeah.
And we got that, arranged and we got that confirmed with our engineer.
Oh,
So now it's on order, and the reason that was the big hurry up and tell us that this is the piece is because that's 16 weeks out.
Yeah.
We can't start everything else is in a lead time underneath that.
Geez.
So, we've got, Pape and Sons doing it, and Brad Applegate has gotten that, ordered up for us, so
Okay.
we're beginning the process of our lead time at this point.
Okay, wow. I gotta say this about Pape and Sons, I've worked with them several times, they've been really outstanding and very much on top of it and high quality. Hopefully there's still somebody there from the fort kind of.
Yeah.
Overseeing, and I'm sure there will be, but I'm just saying that, I'm glad that he got the bid, is that at this point, if he was the guy, we got lucky with him.
Yeah, it was basically, there were 5 bids. And when it all settled out,
Yeah, and I went through the process of confirming whether, the lowest was responded or not, and it got down to their bid, and their bid proved to be responsible. So,
Yeah, he's extremely sharp and great.
so.
and
Okay,
even to the point of email confirmation from the lower bidders that, they would like to pair their bids. I wanted to be sure.
Yeah,
okay, okay, thank you. Okay, item number 8, future water system plan update.
So, we kind of rolled into that with the comprehensive scheme of improvements, but the future water system plan update is something that we need to move on as fast as possible, unfortunately. And I say unfortunately because I am inundated with all these other things. But, we're looking at, technically 2027 is our end date for 10 years.
for a comprehensive plan to be due in
Yeah,
27.
Yeah,
Wow,
and we're looking at April. Not late at 27.
so we can do some of the lifting here.
Right.
But that's really engineered based. Do we have an engineer that, we selected an engineer we're gonna use
And
and
we haven't even fully required funding yet.
yeah,
So, we've got some bits and pieces that we've done, like our water policy and our contract, suite
Right.
contracts. One other thing that we've worked on and just have to bring before the commission for approval is the written and, specs that we've gotten from, Belfair Water. That is um, a far greater upgrade to our specs than we currently have.
and we'll have to review them
Yeah.
and stuff when that.
And we have reviewed the specs.
Yeah, we
did
did.
that in several meetings
Right,
ago,
the written.
but we didn't review the written yet, so I'm gonna get the written available for the next meeting and bring the specs back.
Okay,
So that we can put that into a review process, because I think that I can set it all up for an action request for the commission. And have the entire packet ready for the water committee to review. And then it would be ready for the next regular meeting for the commission.
Okay.
So that,
it
I
might,
agree.
and then
it might take us 2 meetings to,
it might,
Hash it out.
and it's not, that's not a super extreme hurry, but we definitely need to go over it and get it done as soon as we can.
yeah,
Because then we can take those bits, we can take our water policy, we can do all the other things that we've been working on since we've started. Pulling all these
Right.
parts of what a comprehensive plan, a water system comprehensive plan looks like.
right,
Mhm.
And we can see how much more we have to get done with
Right.
engineering.
You've made huge strides getting the systems with this, Pape and Son's gonna be doing this project, getting those tied together, that's a big deal. And then, just like the SCADA system, I understand that the port got a
Yes,
system to
yeah.
communicate a little
Yep.
bit now. So hopefully that's working, but all that kind of goes into the comp plan.
oh, yeah,
Hey, we're monitored here and there, so all that's good stuff, Travis, you've been really doing some lifting. Working towards all this, so.
I mentioned to Travis too that, once we see the components, because it's not clear in my head, all the components that are done now with the port side, but once we kind of generally see what the ports components are that we know have recently been worked on. Just take a look at, at a high level, take a look at some of the other systems, around here that are, of the approximate size, a little bit larger, and just see what we're short a little bit, because some of it, for example, an engineer can spec out some of the things, but like I can work issues like dealing with capital facilities and maintenance programs and things of that nature. In other words, and pull those numbers together on the financial side.
I would start, we're 26 now, so, which is unbelievable, honestly, but we're in 26
Right.
and deep in it already.
Yeah, I know.
So I would try to get selected on who you want to do the comp plan, shop it around a little bit, and then once we start with him, he will have, I need this data, I need this, I need this, and I need this, and that's stuff that we can kind of focus on over the next 6, 8 months, 10 months. we need to gather this, we need to gather that, he'll be the driver,
Right.
okay? So,
No, and, yeah,
There's no money for it right now.
well, that's not completely true, but you know, the money that we do have banked aside, you know, we don't want to be depleting ourselves of that money.
Do we even know,
So I
know
did,
costs? The cost, like.
no, we don't know relative cost, but we do know that, you know, Lakeland paid about $130,000 for theirs.
we did several years
Yeah.
ago, now I do know it's.
But we are a much smaller system. And there's less to incorporate.
It's not uncommon to send out a surcharge for that. Which is not,
It's not popular, but.
It
it's
is not popular,
It's not uncommon.
but it's not uncommon.
That is accurate. I've investigated a line of funding with CURB, which is a grant program in the state that funds infrastructure. And, it sounds like that we could be available if selected for, tier 2 funding, which would be about 75,000 with an $18,000 match to get it.
Okay, oh, it's pretty close then.
So I think that would get us over the hump for going, hey, this is the kind of funding that we need to be comfortable with what more we may have to spend from our actual capital, you know, improvements money.
Right.
So. So I just had a conversation with them last week about it, so.
Good. They're all over, Travis.
Anything else anybody would like to cover with the water system plan at this point?
No, I do wanna apologize, I'm not late guy, I'm sorry, so
Yeah.
I'll be late next. No, that's a bad
The
deal.
only thing, well, moving on.
The garage door won't open next time.
Yeah.
I asked Travis, does anybody have a problem moving our normal meetings till 5 o'clock instead of 6:30? Earlier?
Okay, and normally on Wednesday? Or which day?
Well, our normal regular meetings on Wednesday.
Right.
It don't hurt my feelings to get on with it.
I like 5 o'clock better because we aren't here till 8:30 at night.
I get off work at 4, which is pretty close to my home, and I get home, I'll shower and carry on, and I'll be here, I should be able to be here by 5.
You okay with that?
Yeah. I'm wired the other way. The evenings are great for me to work this kind of stuff.
5 o'clock, it is the evening.
No. 7. The port meetings used to be at 7.
Yeah, and I was falling asleep in them, so.
How
We had
long,
to do something, we had to do
how long do the
something.
port meetings usually go though?
Everywhere from, 40 minutes to
From
2 hours.
2.5 hours.
Yeah.
It really depends on what it's going.
I would suggest that once we get into the developer extension agreements and all this and the specifications and all that, we might wanna do 2 or 3 a month until we can get over at least that hump. And then instead of dragging it out.
Yeah, no, I agree.
If we got something heavy that's just one thing, we could do.
The only caveat I'd say to that is that on Mondays, usually the third Mondays. And so that week prior, I'm preparing for the planning advisory committee meeting at the county. And that you get into things like, zoning and things like this. So usually I need 2 days, 3 days ahead of that. So.
Okay.
Yeah, all I'm saying is don't stack it up on,
Every other week, or if we could do at least 2 a month,
that'd be fine. But
it's just for that one little
yeah,
project.
no, that's fine. Because you need it stay for us.
I'm sorry.
Well, for us, I like to keep it hot in the head too.
Well, but yeah, I'm sorry for Travis, he's just here all the time, I'm sorry, so.
Hey,
Anyway,
don't put too much work on us.
Oh, gosh, no, I won't put too much work on it.
Anyway, anything else for the plan?
No, that's, I think that's the,
Okay, any public comments?
maybe Miss June?
yeah. Any public comment for the second public comment period? And going once, twice, and sold.
Okay, nobody in the audience, so I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second that.
I'll make the motion.
It's been moved and seconded to adjourn the meeting. All those in favor?
Hi.
Thank you. Aye.
All right.
Thank you, June.
I got a call.